What's up? What's up? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notifications so that you're able to get all of my content and all of my videos. Now, former wing Tyreek Evans and Rookie of the Year, I might add, is set to work out for the Golden State Warriors this week, and this is according to Sham Sharina of the Athletic. Now, before I get started, let me make this clear to y'all. If you don't know about Tyreek Evans, especially when he was coming out of high school, Tyreek Evans was his trajectory was supposed to be real high. I'm talking about they were looking at this guy as a potential to carry the league. It was him, guys like uh, guys like Brandon Jennings, Holiday and Lance Stevenson. You know, these guys coming out of high school were were top shit. Let's just call it what it is. You know, um, but along the way, you know, Tyreek Evans, you know, hadn't had, you know, didn't have such the uh, best career. You know, and if you think about what had taken place in terms of violating the league's drug policy in 2019, and he was suspended by the league. Now, you know, he has somewhat of a decent career. You know, he had played for several teams. You might remember him from the Sacramento Kings. He also played for the Pelicans, the Grizzlies, and as well as the Pacers. Uh, with Memphis, he actually averaged 15.7 points per game, 4.8 assists, and 4.6 rebounds per game. And also on the defensive end, he gave you one steal a game while shooting 44%, uh, 30% from three, and 75 from field goal. Um, and also in Indiana, he got limited minutes. He was only at 20 minutes per game, averaged 10 points per game, and shooting 38.9%, and not his best outing. Now let's just let's just look at something, okay? Because he is 32 years old, and he hasn't played anywhere since the league had banned him. Do I believe that this would be a good place for Tyreek Evans? Absolutely. I believe that this would be a great place for him. Now, the one thing that I respect about the Warriors is the fact that, oh, what's up with it, Alex? I see you in the building. The one thing that I respect about the Warriors is the fact that they actually give people second chances, right? Let's let's just go all the way back into time. Well, and I'm talking about when the Warriors have been successful, as we know them to be Dub City and winning championships. Okay, now guys like Sean Livingston. Okay, let's just call it what it is. After that gruesome injury that Sean Livingston had suffered, he played a couple of places and everything, but they knew that Sean Livingston wasn't the same. He wasn't the same Sean Livingston coming out of high school, McDonald's All American, when he was with the LA Clippers. Okay. That wasn't the Sean Livingston that we were accustomed to seeing. However, it was Golden State that was able to take a chance on Sean Livingston. And guess what? He became a perfect fit, being able to play his role and become a role player, also providing a little bit of an added scoring punch, and more importantly, he did what he could in terms of all around in terms of defense. Okay, we can also take into account a guy like David West. Okay, David West, who wasn't no scrub, actually was an all-star at his peak when he was over there in New Orleans. was seen, and also was a good scoring and up front when we talk about the front line in Indiana as well, right? And somehow, some way, some people have forgot about what type of player David West used to be. Well, guess what? The Warriors were able to take a chance on him. He went over to the Golden State Warriors, and guess what? Was a great fit, right? Boogie Cousins. Although Boogie Cousins wasn't able to obtain a ring there, but he became a good fit when he was over there. He became a good fit when he was over there shortly before, the injury had taken place and everything. They were willing to take a chance on Boogie Cousins and was on his best behavior. Actually became what you call the, I guess, mediator between KD and Draymond Green. All right. Now they're about to take, and that was just some examples. We can name several others, but those are the ones that when you think of, and it comes right to mind, that they were able to give second chances. They took a chance to some degree uh, on a guy like D'Lo, and they took a chance on a guy like Kelly Oubre, who a lot of people were criticizing Kelly Oubre. They were making a lot of criticism I felt like was unfair to Kelly Oubre, but those guys were young, so I don't quite put them in that category. Now when we talk about Tyreke Evans, listen, he's 32 years old, still got a lot of basketball left to be played. He's the same age, like I said, of Lance Stevenson when he was coming out of when he came out of high school, then went on to play, for Memphis. Man, this guy was tremendous. And this is another thing that I think gets slept on about a guy like Tyreke Evans, right? This guy, I know that this might not seem important, and just something that I just want to throw out there. This guy had handles out of the world. Now, is that going to make you the most successful in the league? No, but his ball handling, I felt, was one of the most tremendous when you think of, just talking about supremely gifted talent to grace the floor. And he was one of the more enjoyable players to watch, especially when you if you ever go back and look at how he played in high school. So I'm hoping that he gets a shot with the Warriors. Maybe this will revitalize his career. We've seen guys be able to somewhat find a home, like Boogie Cousins. He's over there. He's over there in Denver and has signed with them long term. Even with Greg Monroe, he's over there with Milwaukee and has signed long term with them. And hopefully, the same happens with Isaiah Thomas. You know, look, everybody has their shortcomings. Okay, I'm not going to judge Tyree Evans on violating the league's substance abuse policy, because he's not the only one that has been in that place. Guys like Michael Beasley, they've been in the same situation. Everybody deserves a second, or in some cases, a third chance, depending upon the situation. However, I think that the league is really taking a chance on Tyreek Evans, just like in the NFL when they gave Josh Gordon numerous chances. Speaking about the same situation, I feel like him going to a championship environment, being amongst a guy like Clay and Steph, and also that winning environment, that winning attitude, it does a lot to a person's spirit. Whereas if you're in a place and they're not used to winning, you get stuck in a place where they're used to mediocrity and stuff like that. I'm telling you, it will dwell on you. And I also think about, uh man, I couldn't even think about it. I lost my train of thought. Man, who was I thinking about that had came there and got his career somewhat revitalized? Can't think of it, right off the top of my head. But there have been people in the past, or players in the past, that have been able to get a second chance and be able to do what is necessary to have a second shot. Everybody, everybody's journey is not quite the same. Everybody's not going to come in and be a success story, a success story from start to finish, like a LeBron James or like a Michael Jordan. It just doesn't happen that way for everybody. And even, with the greatest athletes. However, the one thing that I respect about Tyree Evans is the fact that he's coming back and he's finishing what I started. That's just what I was just talking about a little bit, somewhat in Polo Motivation. So do you think that Tyree Evans will come back and finish his career in a great way? He's 32 years old. Um, his last stint wasn't the greatest, but I definitely feel like this is going to help him. You have a lot of guys that go through some things and they have to go through a maturation period too. Another guy that I think of right offhand is well, two people. Andrew Wiggins. I think about him. Okay, Andrew Wiggins. He was sought out to be carrying, somewhat carrying the league at one point in time when they drafted him coming out of Kansas. That his trajectory was very high, but somehow, some way, we got in Minnesota. They didn't think of him that way. And look, he went to Golden State, and guess what? He became an all-star. And he thrived in that Golden State system. And then let's even take it back further. Ron Harper. Ron Harper was seen as that. Some people call him the poor man's Michael Jordan, but that's no knock on him. But his athleticism was off the chart. Ron Harper could score. Ron Harper could pretty much do it all. He was a up and down type player before the injury. And then guess what? He went to Chicago Bulls, got a second chance. You said third Mundo. He can ball 32, still gas in the tank. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Tyree Evans. But you can have gas in the tank all day. And also you can, be athletic and everything. But it all goes back to your mental mindset. A lot of these guys are talented. A lot of these guys, they might party on the regular and do all of that stuff, but they just have the supremely gifted athletic ability and the genetics to really go out there and thrive. However, where the other guy might be less talented, might might not have quite the genetics, or might not even have the certain gifts that that person might have in comparison to them, they end up thriving because of their hard work, and their mentality is different. And this is my last point right here. A lot of you wonder why I have a guy like Giannis above pretty much everybody in the league. Okay, is Giannis, the has have the most flamboyant and prettiest footwork? No, he doesn't. Does Giannis have, crisp fundamentals like, say, a Kevin Durant, or is a pure shooter like a Kevin Durant? No. Is he gonna wow you with his no look passing and all this other stuff? No. But the fact is that Giannis is able to outwork his competition, and he has a mentality that is unbreakable. And whatever you say that this guy can't do, he's in the gym and he's in the lab working on whatever flaws to improve on that. And that's what sets a lot of players apart. You said facts. I was going to type that both, but got it. Yeah, exactly. Man, salute to you, Third Mundo, for pulling up. Salute to you, man. I appreciate you showing love to the channel so much, man. But like I said, that's what sets a lot of people apart. Many guys are talented. Many guys have the athletic ability, but can you mentally be capable to make it? And it's all a mindset. It's all a mindset. If they sit you, another thing, and I could take it to a whole nother dimension when we're talking about it, right? Another, what'd you say? Okay, sorry about that. Another thing is are you going to be willing to take? a lesser role if they tell you to, if such as coming off the bench, or such as being able to play less minutes, or for that matter, not even play. Are you going to be willing to accept that? And a lot of guys can't accept that. Look at Melo. Melo has had to swallow his pride and come off the bench. That's just another example of getting a second, third chance. And that's what Tyreek Evans is getting now. Melo's situation is much different, in terms of him, being blackballed and everything like that, which, a lot of people can, bring the argument that, it was unfair to Melo, but he was able to land a role in Portland, play his role, do a tremendous job for what he could do and everything. And now he's with the Lakers, and we know that the Lakers are having a tumultuous season, but the fact that he's still playing and he's still out there in year 19 is still phenomenal, and still being able to do a role. How many players do you know that are even playing, that were even able to play that long? You know, so you have to let that sink in. There's only a handful of players that have been able to reach that mark, and people got to understand that when you're talking about professional basketball, or even professional football, the window of playing, you have a short window, especially for different positions. And one right off the hand is when you think of the running back position. That's a short clock. You have a short window. That's why a lot of guys want to get paid so quickly. They want their money, because they don't have that much time. But anyways, I'm not trying to digress. Y'all let me know what you think, man. Leave your comments, like this video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, man. Appreciate y'all listening. Y'all have a good one.